Hi, thanks for joining us today. Bob and I are going to share how you can avoid the two common and painful truths about diabetes. Remember that the content we're going to discuss today and share is from our personal experience and opinion and is provided for your information, education, and entertainment purposes only. So before you make any changes to your routines, check with your doctor and healthcare professionals. Are you living with or impacted by diabetes? Are you struggling with high blood sugar, with weight gain, or just the inability to lose weight? How about your energy? Are you feeling exhausted? Where's your mindset at? Are you anxious? Do you feel guilty about the way that you're eating or the not exercising? Are you just feeling lost and alone? Well, let me tell you, I can relate. I'm a type 1 diabetic for almost 30 years now, and I've really been battling this journey, and I know what you're going through. There's days when my blood sugar is not great. I've had to deal with the weight gain and learn how to lose that weight and keep it off. My energy levels fluctuating depending on how well I manage things. Losing that mental focus, and ultimately feeling sick, feeling alone in the struggle. Well, the truth is, I actually hit a place where I just felt sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I did not like the man that I was seeing in the mirror. I needed to change. So you know what I did is I went on a journey of health. And it started by me just taking the first step. I made a decision that I will, and I must change because I did not want the common complications of diabetes to steal my life. And it was beginning to. Well, let me tell you, on this journey, I went and I sought out leading experts all over the world in the area of mindset, in hydration, nutrition, in exercise and physiology and movement, and ultimately mindset, meditation, and ultimately motivation so that I could step forward and do it with confidence. And you know what? This is me today. My journey has really been a big transformation. And it's taken me almost 30 years to get here. But what I can tell you is that the common complications of diabetes are no longer part of my life. And why and how this happened is I went and changed my shoulds, my coulds, and my woulds into did. I just started. I stepped forward, but I found myself by going forward and getting into the proximity of people that had what I wanted to have. So, Bob, you and I have really done a lot of research here over the last several years. And I'd really like you to share some of the painful and unfortunately common truths about diabetes. How you doing, Bob?
Good to see you, Heath. Thanks so much, bud. Yeah, I think we're coming close to 8 billion people on planet Earth. And I'm here to proudly announce that about 500 million of us are type 1s, type 2s, or pre-diabetics. And growing fast. So
it's actually a pandemic, isn't it?
issue. It's a massive issue through Canada, United States of America, India, China, all over the world now.
So can you share some of the real data that you found from this research that we've been doing over the last several years? But this is all recent numbers that you just found when we were preparing for today.
Well, you'd think that it'd be, hey, I'm diabetic, I'm pre-diabetic, I'm type 2 diabetic. It's pretty normal, actually, pretty normal to have that. But unfortunately, it comes with a downside. So you're 2 times as likely to have a heart attack or stroke if you're in that category. 1 in 3 diabetics is chronic kidney disease. 69% have high blood pressure. 43% have high cholesterol. Heath, this all leads to early death or severe complications or hospital stays or just a really lousy quality of life. 89% of us are overweight. 80% of us have a fatty liver. 33% of us have vision complications or blindness as well. These are huge numbers. So It means that if you're in these categories, your health is massively impacted and affected. It's interesting in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, maybe you're not noticing it that much. I'm just carrying extra weight. But what's going on inside your eyes, your liver, your body, right, is being significantly impacted by your blood sugars.
No, so true. I can't
Look at
believe.
this. Look at the stats on this slide. Amputations. Every 30 seconds, somewhere in the world, a leg is amputated because of diabetes. And after these amputations, you don't have much chance of living at all.
Yeah, Bob, the things that you just shared are so powerful. Here I am, and I've worked so hard, as you know, to learn, right, how to change and run away as fast as I can from these complications because they terrified me when I was first told, right? And but what really was a staggering thing that hit me today is this specific stat that after someone has an amputation, their life expectancy is actually less than 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, the reason for that, when I started to dig in deeper, was the real truth. It was a piling up of a whole bunch of things, and the self-care that was really being done was already at a state where their health was in a very critical condition. And this is really a fruit of being overweight, of being inactive, of poor diet, and all those different aspects of life, right?
Right.
So I think that it's pretty important stuff.
Let's talk a bit about the emotional and mental aspects of diabetes too. So while it's pounding our bodies physically, it's also impacting us mentally. So we all know that brain fog occurs. You lose focus at work. Sometimes many diabetics can't go to work many days, and it really impacts your finances, your employment stats because of the sickness. Sometimes you lose interest in your favorite activities. You get depressed. You can't sleep. You feel tired a lot of the time, but mostly this is a cause. It feels hopeless a lot of the times. You feel lonely. You feel in a space where you can't be helped. You can't take action. You can't move. You're almost like frozen in time, just suffering with the disease, and you don't know what to do. You don't want to do it because of what's happening in your brain because of blood sugar.
Bob, you've nailed it. It's, from my personal experience as a type 1 diabetic, and you've witnessed this and observed it with me out doing adventures, whether we're hiking, golfing, we're working, and we've traveled around the world and doing business. It can really impact your performance if you're not managing these things in an appropriate way. But I think it's so important that we as people just understand diabetes doesn't care. It doesn't care. It's going to steal our time and the quality of our life that you already spoke to. And this terrified me. 20 years as a diabetic. If you're good, 9 years.
We've been through dozens of studies, and they all show if you're diabetic, you're dying sooner unless you take action.
So it's really simple. You and I have talked about this. Guys, if you're watching this, what are you going to do about it? That's it. And, Bob and I have worked so hard. We have taken 30 years of my life, all of my learnings, traveling around the world, and we have created a solution. That's what we're doing. What are you going to do about it? Well, what Bob and I have done is we've created Uncommon Diabetic Foundations. And whether you've come to us through an ad that you've clicked on, or you've come through us through our UDTV Live that you're watching right now, through our website, we're glad you're here. It's important you understand that you have a choice. You can make a decision right now to be intelligently selfish and choose what form of life that you want to have. And that's ultimately what got me into it. And Bob has been an amazing friend and a support. And he has his challenges as well. But Bob, this became a huge part for both of us in our life's journey of really learning to define and say, what do we want to dominate our life? What are the big chunks of our life? We call it form in our program. And that means, what do you want for your family and your friend relationships? How about your work? As Bob said, if you're not healthy, it's really hard to be mentally in a space to perform and have a relationship with your wife or your children, to do well at work, to have that energy to make those presentations, to do the job with diligence, and to be able to perform at a good level? Or what about your recreation? Those activities that you love to do or used to love to do, but now you just don't have the juice to do it.
Yeah, yeah. And commonly, when we're working with people, we hear this all the time. We hear, my wife is really concerned about me. My wife, my wife is active. My wife is taking care of herself, but I'm not doing any of those things. My kids are worried about my health. I'm suffering at work. Work's not going very well because I can't focus. We hear these things all the time. Diabetes impacts all those areas of life. When was the last time you went for a vacation? Well, I don't do it. I can't do it. These sort of things, right? So take some action. Do something.
Yes. Bob, so well said. So it really comes down to, as Bob just said, what is the form of life you want? What are the results that you want? And what Bob and I have been able to do through our UD Foundations program is actually help people take impossible, a mindset that they had, and turn it into possible. And we're talking about type 1 diabetics. We're talking about people with type 2 diabetes, with high blood pressure, significant obesity. And we're helping them reduce their weight, get their sugars in line with very simple, small tweaks. And this isn't about sustainability. This isn't a get fixed, show up once and get it done thing. This is about how do we help you get the results you want in a sustainable and healthy way.
But immediate changes, right, bud? Take a couple of actions and immediate changes, and your energy level goes up, right? Your enthusiasm goes up. Your hope level goes up. Your interaction with your family goes up. Your productivity at work goes up. Just a few strategic changes in whatever you're doing right now can massively impact your day-to-day life.
Right on. And Bob, we teach this in our program as well, but as soon as we set goals and we are clear about what we want, this thing called resistance shows up. And what's the killer of resistance is always your why, the reason that we do what we do. And Bob, you and I were just talking about our form of life and relationships or things, but for me, it was this simple. I wanted to be able to get a decade back. That's what began my journey. I didn't like the man in the mirror. I wanted to be able to do what I was doing when I was 30. There's no reason why I couldn't. So my why was ultimately selfishly motivated. I wanted my life back. Then I stuck into, when I started to document the form of life I wanted, I went, I want to have an amazing marriage. I got to have the energy to put in to support. I want to be able to be around for my grandchild, little Weston, to see him grow and graduate. What's your why, Bob? Why you do what you do?
For all those reasons, but mostly, it's just the joy you get out of a day is sucked dry. There's very, very hard to find joy in a day if you're exhausted. Very hard to find joy in a day if you've got a splitting headache, or you're feeling sick to your stomach, or you're just feeling sick, right? So it's really a day-to-day plan to have a really good day the next day. So what we eat, how we exercise, what we think, how we sleep, it's all interconnected, not only for that day, but for the next day as well, right? It's an immediate impact on your ability to perform, your ability to be the person your wife needs you to be, your kids need you to be, your work needs you to be.
So what you said there that's really powerful is one word: change. And then you alluded to the real point of those activities, the things that we're choosing to do in our day. Change in our routines. Because the real truth is, the thinking we were talking about earlier, how we think about something ultimately drives how we feel, and then our feelings, emotions, creates motion. And that could be anything from, we had a rough day and we go to the fridge, and instead of picking an apple or we reach for the ice cream. These are patterns. They're all routines. And what Bob and I want to really do is we want to bring the education, the training, and most importantly, mentorship to you. And our UD Foundations program community is all about diabetics mentoring and helping diabetics. We believe that together we can do it. What can we do? Improve. We don't know what we don't know. We can get more potential in our life because of that improvement and feeling of success combined with the training we provide you. The motivation will start to grow in you. We're going to help you with your work, your routines. All forms of your components of the form of life are going to grow, which is going to inspire you, make motivation. So these are the keys that we as mentors want to provide you within our program. But what we're going to really teach, and Bob, maybe you can lead off with this, is our 4 pillars of health.
Well, one of the number one reason why people can't change is they don't have the support. They don't have somebody along with them for the ride. And so our program, Heath, has got 4 pillars to it, 4 components to it. So many diabetics out there listening to this, you'll understand. I've tried this before. I've tried eating better. It doesn't work. I've tried exercise. It doesn't work. It's not about trying one thing or the other thing. It's about understanding how mindset, nutrition, activity, and rest and recovery are scientifically linked together, which massively impacts your performance. So that's what you've done, Heath, is over the 30 years, you've compiled a program that takes all those pillars, puts them into a progressive lesson plan that anybody can follow with simple actions that people can take that combine them all together. That changes. And we've got the support there for them too. We've got nutritional coaching, we've got activity coaching, and we've got your mentorship really to follow as so people can plan their diabetic improvement. It's so exciting to see people take 2 or 3 ideas from the first meeting and have massive change that first day. So it's about the integrated approach. It's an integrated, holistic approach, not just an eating regimen or just an exercise regimen. It's not about that.
Well, what's interesting is we talk about change and how change management is such a critical part of our life. And, one of our mentees that is working with us in our program, he was literally just rushed to the hospital before we had met him due to high blood pressure, high blood sugar, etc. And then literally after our first 2 sessions with him, he was able to just make minor tweaks. Those minor tweaks within his food, his timing, transformed the results. And within a week, his blood pressure had come down. His but his blood sugars that week were back within the go zone. I call it the green zone. And it leveled out. And it was a black and white difference in that man's energy and how he felt. And now, literally within a month, he's been on average losing 5+ pounds a week. And he's just so passionate about what he's seeing in the results. The point his wife is noticing the change, his attitude, his mindset, the way he's choosing to eat. And it's been a benefit through his whole family that it's rippled through. So these pillars really build the foundations of our health. And I think it's most important that you mentioned as well is people, you are not alone. We talked about the numbers. There's 500 million of us living on this planet. You're not alone. But we are willing to journey with you, and together we can, because nobody's self-made. I did not know what I know. I learned these skills, these lessons from others. So what Bob and I want to do is offer you a completely uncommon opportunity. And Bob, maybe just talk a little bit about the opportunity that we're going to offer each person who's watching today.
Well, the opportunity is to take a look at where you are currently with your diabetes. And we start with assessments. We start with a complete assessment about where you are at now, how you're feeling. You always get your doctor and endocrinologist approval for these sort of programs. And then what we do is we take a look at the current habits that you have the current routines that you have. And then we produce a series of pieces of information in a progressive manner. So you can take that information and make the changes that are unique to your own diabetes, your own body. So it's that combination of assessments of where you're at plus new information. Most of this stuff nobody's heard of before in the way that we deliver it, right? And then combining the four pillars, all the four pillars together, really makes just a ton of sense to people. They start to make the changes that fit their lifestyle on their schedules, and their improvement happens. It's that simple.
Well said, Bob. I think what really matters is this. It's about having a personalized program for you that's meeting you where you are right now, then laying out that form of life that you want to get and become what you want to be. And in that whole journey, that map that is going to direct you along the way. And together we can do that. But I think the most important part is also, it's not just the technology from our online portal where we have all your manuals and the workbooks and the lesson plans. It's the tools that we have for you to journey with you.
Mm-hmm.
We have a team of experts, nutrition, fitness, where you're going to get help through our uncommon diabetic meal plans. You're going to have that accountability available to you. We have a complete fitness accountability app with online workouts that you can see and do. You do them in the gym, but they're tailored to you. You know, and Jack, our trainer, he will personally work with you through the app to get to your goals. A personalized training program dedicated to where you're at, but moving you forward to where you want to go. Any thoughts on the apps, Bob? I know you love them and have used them. So what are your thoughts?
Technology makes it so easy today to keep track of your blood sugars, right? To keep track of your eating, to plan your menus, to plan your shopping. That's what we produce. We produce the ability for you to easily plan everything you have to do and get the support for all those things too. It's really quite amazing, bud.
Yeah, and I think what people are seeing is this. We're constantly using this slogan of ours that together we can. You don't know what you don't know. And it takes one thing to transform your entire life. And what we're saying to do is choose you. Be intelligently selfish. The best thing you can do for anybody is take care of you so that you're here. Let's not be living the common diabetic life full of the common complications, because it's not an if. Those numbers and stats that Bob and I spoke about earlier are fact. I have to admit the facts. But the real truth is we're at choice. You can turn around and do a 180 with one decision. Together we can. So who does it with us, Bob?
Well, we've got a super team. Basically, everyone's very well grounded in their own specialty areas. They're all certified in their own specialty areas. So it's really an exciting group to be engaged with. Just very, very positive group, but also very pragmatic. They understand that they're dealing with an individual, unique person with a unique situation, and they tailor make all the solutions for that person. Good group.
Yeah. And we deal with amazing people. These are just a few of the people that have worked with us or we've personally mentored. And we're talking about people from all walks of life, from Olympian athletes that we work with, to doctors, to nurses, to artists, to people that run aviation companies. We have a lot of people that we have partnered with and worked to bring this program and deliver benefits to them. So, what's your next step? Bob and I have been talking about the common complications. Is that what you want to run towards? Because if you're not running the other way, unfortunately, diabetes doesn't care. It's going to steal your life. It's going to cause these complications if you do nothing, because no decision is a decision. I think it comes down to this. Are you worth it? Bob, you have some real strong feelings on this.
It's called self-compassion and self-care. And if human beings have one tendency, it's to care for others first and not care for themselves. So I'm very much like this. I know you are too, bud. We would, we would do almost anything to make sure that our loved ones, if they had diabetes, had access to good coaching, good mentorships, good programs, right? But we have it. We're impacted by it. It's like, are we going to take care of ourselves? It's like, do we? It's about that. It's about, do we deserve it? We often feel guilty for taking the time, for spending the money on ourselves, where we wouldn't hesitate to do it for somebody else. But we're the
Yeah.
ones with diabetes. We're the ones living with it and impacted by it. We should be looking at how the other people in our lives are looking at us and saying, why isn't he doing something? Why isn't she doing something? Like, take care of yourself.
Well, the real truth is we're talking about worth it. When we talk about UD Foundations, which is a group transformation program, this is less than your Big Mac meal per day. This is less than your special mocha mochi mochi latte at Starbucks. It doesn't matter. We're talking about a very small investment in your health, and you're worth it. We're not talking about adding money to your bills. We're saying some of the changes alone that you will make that will transform your life will pay for this. And
Yeah.
it's going to improve your performance.
You'll literally save thousands of dollars.
100%. So I think this is critical. I'm saying it over and over again, guys. Together we can do this. Why? I needed help. The key to my shift, my transformation, was that I went out and changed my proximity. I said, enough. I can, I will, I must change. And how I did that was getting around people that have already done what I wanted to do. That's it. So here's where I'm at. Today, we're at a place where I want you to say, challenge, accept it. Invest in you. That's the key here. And if you've come to us through an ad on Facebook, just go back to Messenger. Type in "Let's Talk," and I'll send you a link, and you'll be able to have a personal, free 45-minute health strategy session where we're going to talk about you, what results you want, what are the reasons you need it, and then what's the action plan? What are those routines that will work together? And we'll get you registered and find out, is our program a fit for you? Because we don't pick everybody. Just likewise, am I and our team a fit for you? That's why I keep saying together we can. What you need to realize is that no decision is a decision. Bob, can you give any final thoughts for our viewers today on transformation?
A lot of the feedback we get from the people we work with, Heath, is it's fun. It's really great to meet on a regular basis, once a week, twice a week, with a group. Friends are made for life. Friendships are made for life, and people are constantly supported, encouraged, and it's just a great way to spend some time with people who care about you, who are doing the same thing you're doing, who are on the same journey you are, where you celebrate their successes and celebrate your own successes too. So I think that's the biggest note that I would say is it's a heck of a lot of fun to be involved with a group of people that care about you.
Well, Bob, I'm sure glad that you and I are journeying together. And, we've created this program to truly empower people to experience something better so that they can truly 180 directional shift change away from those common complications of diabetes right forward into their ideal form of life, that uncommon diabetic life. Mm-hmm. So as always, brother, I thank you for just sharing with everyone and all our viewers and our mentees today about what we can do for them.
Good. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I really want to invite you guys all. Just come journey with us. Build your uncommon diabetic foundations of health. Together we can. We can create a map. That's a massive action plan to really build the foundations that will improve your energy, your health, starting now. Our UD Foundation's program and community will provide you with a revolutionary and science-based approach towards your diabetic health. We will help you consistently take the small steps that are going to create big results. You're going to lower your A1C. You will lose weight. You're going to gain strength and improve your ability to live your ideal form of life. So do one of a few things. One, just click the link below. Book a free health strategy session. If you've come to us through one of our ads, then go to Messenger and say, let's talk. And you can, with me, have a free health strategy session. And we're going to talk about how to transform your life. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity of meeting you. So join us today. And remember, click the subscribe button and bell so you don't miss any episodes of UDTV. But most importantly, remember you're not alone. Together we can. Nobody's self-made. So let's create your success formula so you can live your uncommon diabetic life. And I look forward to meeting you in your free health strategy session. Until next week, be uncommon.